NFL is on EA Sports as we come to you from the StubHub Center in Carson, California. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Chargers. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And a nice run past the... He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Doesn't look to be any confusion here as they come up now on a 2nd and 6 following the delay of game. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. 23 yards on the play.
I'm sorry, but it's almost unfair. I mean, Brandon Marshall can make so many plays, but even when you think he's covered,
he's not.
No, he's really not. He uncovers and makes a play on you and picks up good yardage in doing so.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line.
And Brandon, as we continue to see, so much of the influence on this game is now coming from those hybrid-type players. In this case, strong safety, not worried about covering the pass. What a play on the run.
Tackled for a loss.
Yeah, forget the pregame introductions. Introduced himself with authority on that play.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. There he goes, right side. A big play there on the catch and run. 46 yards.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
They'll run here with Ingram. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Mark Ingram taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. Lutz now to kick this one away. So Rivers will lead the Chargers out 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Throwing, Rivers. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. The football going back over to the New Orleans Saints and a team this year, Charles, that really took off after that Week 1 loss. For me, it all came together Week 9. You think back to that game when they beat the Rams, knocked off their undefeated streak to start the regular season. So now, are the Saints really Super Bowl winning contenders? I mean, do you put them in that category?
Oh, I certainly do, and I think people were wondering how they would respond this season after what happened to end last season, the Minneapolis Miracle, where they ended up giving up the touchdown pass in the last play of the game in the playoffs. And when it started losing at home to Tampa Bay, many wondered if their psyche had really been affected, but they've regrouped since then. The defense is really playing well. And then there's always Drew Brees to Mike Thomas, and that has worked very well for them.
Well, since you mentioned Michael Thomas, and we talked about that win over the Rams, never forget going to get the flip phone, Mr. Michael Thomas, channeling his inner Joe Horn from back in the day. He's got a man. That's Marshall. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for first and 10. Now a play fake here on first down. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
Breeze to throw on second down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. Breeze now on 3rd and goal. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. A great effort there from 3 yards out. And the Saints add on to their lead. Lutz with the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Got a second here to talk about the Chargers as they bring their offense back out, and specifically Phillip Rivers, Charles, 4th quarterback in history to start 200 consecutive games. The other 3, Brett Favre and Eli and Peyton Manning, but he's playing at an MVP level, is he not?
He certainly is, and should be getting some attention for that. The tough part, Patrick Mahomes has kind of taken over that talk this year, but still, the way that he has the Chargers playing, the way he's delivering the football, spreading it around, he has his team in contention in the AFC West, definitely there for a playoff spot, and they could be so dangerous down the stretch. And remember, they're supposed to get defensive end Joey Bosa back for the stretch run. He's been out with a foot injury. He had 23 sacks in his first 2 years. He'll make Melvin Ingram that much better on the other side.
Here's Rivers. Over the middle, he's got Tyrell Williams. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. He's got a man. It's Williams. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A big play on 3rd down for the Chargers. 46 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now Gordon on 1st down. Oh, what a move. And a short gain here down to the 22. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. A good run as he works his way for 9 that time, and it'll leave him with a third and just a few inches.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
They just got that play off. Now Rivers. Got man, it's complete. Williams. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Southern California after this. This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. They'll try and punch it in. Gordon. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard that time, second and goal.
He gets it halfway there with that run. I think you play up-tempo, get right back on the line of scrimmage, and hammer at him again.
He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The Chargers on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is third and goal. Rivers. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
The offense stays out there. A big challenge here from this far back, but they're going for it on fourth and goal. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. And my goodness, this is incomplete. They can't hook up here on the fourth down pass attempt, and the Saints will have the football back. A chance to get some momentum here in the second quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in. But I'm going straight to route mode. All right, guys.
And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. The 40, 30, 10. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. 94 yards. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. Lutz good on the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Lutz now to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. No, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big...
There goes Green. He's at the 30, 10, and he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Virgil Green, 84 yards. And the Chargers, they're able to cut into that deficit. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Breeze now on first down. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down. Ball on the 30 as they come up, 2nd and 10. Breeze will try again on 2nd down. And an alley to run. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
Kill.
The play fake to Ingram. Now it's Breeze. And this will be caught at the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That goes as a gain of 36 on 3rd down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this 3rd quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And this offense back to needing 10 yards after the false start. 3rd and 10. From the gun, Rivers. And nowhere to get away. Rivers is dropped. Sheldon Rankins in there to get him for a loss of 9. And that'll lead to 4th down. Here's Donnie Jones now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. This is taken at the 23. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll try to get the ground game going with Ingram. And he powers his way up past the 30. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 2nd down, here's Breeze. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Just his second incompletion so far. He's 8 for 10. I think he'll take 80%.
There's no doubt that he will, but if you're the defensive play caller, you better circle what you just dialed up on your play sheet and come back to it because you just caused an incompletion. You need a few more of those.
Now Breeze. He can run for it, and he will. And avoids the contact by sliding. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a first.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On the crossing route, complete. It's Thomas. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. A couple of first downs, has the football position at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running.
Looking for Marshall, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. They were looking for Marshall that time. Changing topics here for just a second to look ahead to our Thanksgiving slate. You know, you got Chicago and Detroit early, but then, of course, Dallas late. And it's a rivalry game. They host Washington.
Yeah, and how great is that we're going to get that one on Thanksgiving because they've given us some memorable ones throughout the...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Play action now. Rivers. The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. It's caught on the right side. Williams. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
Rivers now to throw on 1st down. It's complete right side to Benjamin. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one goes for 24 yards. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. In on the tackle, Alex Okafor.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
The Saints on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd down and 12. Throwing now is Breeze. They go screen. This is Ingram. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down. And now the Chargers are going to look up here and signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. The Saints do snap it. It's Breeze. And an alley to run. And he slides to avoid the hit. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. From the gun on 3rd down, Breeze. There he goes left side. And this is going to be a Charger touchdown. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
They do tack on the extra point as well. So a 7-point game, they'll need a recovery, the touchdown, and an extra point to tie. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3-and-out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
Breeze gives it up to Ingram. Got some real estate inside the 30. And now running right through it. Touchdown, New Orleans. Mark Ingram, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Saints add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
The Chargers offense gets set. They head back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
The throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands. Guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
Right back for Allen. This time he finds him complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40 to mark him down at the 39. A Charger first down. Rivers hooking up with Allen. Rivers on first down. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
Breeze now. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Corey Legion breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up.